Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are very sorry for the late start. We're starting exactly 15 minutes after schedule time. We're sorry. We're trying to ensure that Barrister Fujonso, who of course is here with us in Washington, D.C., we're going to be sure that he's okay. And then we kickstart this program. Barrister, you're welcome to our studios here in Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, National Telegraph is a broadcasting corporation that is duly recognized in the United States of America. Of course, we are broadcasting from our studios that is being, of course, powered by one of our partners, VPS. We are happy to be here today. If you're just joining us, this show is also being televised live through YouTube on the National Telegraph official YouTube page. You can also watch this on Twitter. We're happy once more. My name is Eric Tato. I'm a journalist based here in the United States of America, and I'm CEO and founder of National Telegraph. Today we'll be talking with Barrister Fujonso. As you are all aware, Barrister Fujonso is a Cameroonian lawyer who, of course, is defending what we now know as the Ambazonian leaders. He's the lead counsel for the Southern Cameroon separatists or pro-independence leaders. Seseko Ayoktabe Julius, who is the interim president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, and 9 others who have been held in the detention center in Cameroon, in the Republic of Cameroon, precisely in Yaoundé. So you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
If you're just joining us, this is The Map. The Map is a National Telegraph show that we talk basically about everything. We talk to personalities and we exude a couple of things. Once more, my name is Eric Tato, and you're welcome to the show. We start this interview by asking the gentleman here to introduce himself to our viewers.
Yes, my name is Barrister Fujonso. I'm an attorney at law, practicing in Douala, and I'm presently the lead counsel defending our interim president, Seseko Ayuktabe, and the others. When I mean the others, I mean the 9 others, and also Ambazonians detained across the country.
When you say defending our interim president, what do you mean by that?
The interim president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, who was abducted from Nigeria along with his cabinet and brought to Cameroon under very illegal circumstances, and they are languishing in the dungeons of the Republic of Cameroon prisons.
So what I was trying to be specific, when you say our president, are you saying that you are like Seseko himself declared, we followed in court, he said he's Ambazonian.
Everybody knows that Barrister Fujonso is an Ambazonian.
Okay.
Everywhere around the world, including La Republic of Cameroon, they know me.
Just to remind you, this is a professional TV station, and we talk professionally, so everybody has a right to view their opinions here. And so we're thankful that you're very frank. Going forward, you came to the United States on some particular issues, and some people will be curious that it's not been long that you were here in the United States. I understand you'll be going to Boston over the weekend and all of those. So can you give us precisely some of the things you came to do in the United States?
I came here to attend the conference, the All People Southern Cameroon's conference, but I missed it. I missed it because of confusion in the flight schedule. But I got here on Sunday when the conference finished on Saturday. Now I'm proceeding to Boston tomorrow, Thursday. We'll be having a live interview on a television station in
Lowell. Just to let our listeners know, Lowell is the same council area that received Seseko and was one of the first councils in the United States at the time to have recognized the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon.
Exactly. And from there, we will be having a town hall meeting with all the Ambazonians in Boston. Myself and Professor Anyangwe.
All right, we publish that on our website already, on our official Facebook page. Now, I'm going to give you the details of Barrister Fujonso's program that's coming up in Boston. I'm going to give you the time and the place. We're also making an arrangement. Maybe National Telegraph would be there. I'm trying to see if I can move a team there or go there myself. And so, just so that you know, we're going to give this address really quickly, because from the information that I've gathered, this is where the activity will be taking place. We just spoke with some of the organizers. Francis was speaking with me just a few minutes ago, and I happen to have had this address. I will just read it up really quickly. I think there's the official address where the event will be held. Just excuse me, pardon me, let me pull it up, of course, through my phone really quickly. Francis here. Okay, according to the flyer that I've received, they said we are honored to have August guests, Barrister Fujonso and Professor Carlson Anyangwe. They will be in Boston after the historic DC conference, and that's going to be on Saturday, April 6, 2019.
Correct.
And it's going to be at the Presbyterian Church. The address is 335 Cambridge Street, Burlington, Massachusetts. It's going to run, that's of course in Boston, Massachusetts. So, but this is the exact address, Presbyterian Church at 335 Cambridge Street, Burlington, Massachusetts. It's going to run from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So all of you living around the Boston area, Massachusetts, all of you are invited to be at this very strategic event. Now, going forward, you must have listened to, we'll talk a lot of things, including yes, the situation of the detainees, because there's some very serious information that National Telegraph has gotten from some secret string that's around La Republic of Cameroon and in southern Cameroon about the condition of the detainees. But let's start with the Washington DC conference. That precisely, I can probably want to call it the Maryland conference because it took place in Maryland. Okay. What is your observation about those leaders coming together? What do you have to say about it?
It was very positive. Mm-hmm. This is what Ground Zero has been expecting. Mm-hmm. And we are very honored. We in Ground Zero, we are very honored that the leaders were able to get together, and the resolutions that we read were very encouraging. Mm-hmm. And that is exactly what 99.9% of the Ground Zero wants. Mm-hmm. Total independence for our people.
Wow, thank you so much. Now let's look at some of the resolutions that were read at the conference.
Yeah.
What is your take? You know, a couple of them. I'll just try to pull out on that really quickly. Let's see some of the things that you know, were said during that Washington DC conference. You know, although a lot of people were trying to misinterpret that, but since I was there myself live, I spoke on it. I spoke on some particular issues, but some people try to misinterpret it. I'm just trying to pull out on the video that well, actually, okay, we're here, so we'll listen to it very quickly and see some of the resolutions.
Fourth Committee on Decolonization on the 21st of April 1961, granting independence to Southern Cameroons, also called Ambazonia, regretting that the Southern Cameroons, a previously self-governing territory from the years of 1954 to 61, was robbed of its sovereignty at independence, scheduled for 1st of October 1961, when the instruments of government were handed over to the annexationist neighboring La Republic du Cameroon. Recalling that La Republic du Cameroon officially launched its annexation of the Southern Cameroons when it was imposed its constitution of the 21st December 1960 on Southern Cameroons, and has upheld it through colonization, domination, military occupation, and blind repression, culminating in an ongoing genocidal war of annexation. Noting that this expansionist policy violates international law, including Article 4B of the African Union Constitutive Act on the sanctity of borders inherited from colonization, the 2002 International Court of Justice ruling on the Bakassi Peninsula, and Articles 19 to 24 of the African Charter on Human Rights and People's Rights on Self-Determination. Noting further that the notion of independence by joining violated Articles 76B separation is consistent with international
We'll
law,
take some questions after this.
including notably the provisions of principles 7 and 8 of United Nations General Assembly Resolution 1541 of the 15th of December 1960, recalling further that the sovereignty of the people of Southern Cameroons have been demanding negotiations over this crime against humanity since 1964, including through the outcomes of all the Anglophone Conference of 1993 and 1994 respectively, considering that the government of the Republic of Cameroon has curtailed and or rejected any effort at negotiations, including mediation offered by the African Union following the Banjul Court ruling recognizing Southern Cameroons as a people, different from the people of the Republic of Cameroon, an effort by teachers and lawyers to address the root causes of this recolonization, recognizing that the Republic of Cameroon first rejected the notion of forming any union with Southern Cameroons when it voted no on the United Nations General Assembly resolution offering such a union, and exercised its right to withdraw from the failed union when it passed restoration law in 1984, reverting to its name at independence on 1st January 1960. Presided by a judge appointed by the dictator of the Republic of Cameroon, ruled on May 18, 1992, recognizing and restoring the sovereignty and statehood of Southern Cameroons under the appellation of Ambazonia. You can see the law also recognizing the declaration of 19.
They are still reading the resolution. So in the meantime, we just want to say that we will also take questions at the end of this show. When we are finished with the interviews with Barrister Fujon, so we'll open the lines for some people to call so that they can make their own suggestions, and probably not suggestions, they can ask questions where we'll translate to Barrister Fujon. So others will also be typing some of the questions here. We'll see them and then we'll ask Barrister Fujon. So we know the resolution is taking a little bit longer, but let's listen to it carefully because it's a very important issue. We'll listen to probably the first few resolutions and then we continue with some other questions.
All the independence of Southern Cameroons as envisaged and publicly advertised by the adoption, the Second All-Anglophone Conference of 1994 of the so-called zero option. Considering also that the declaration of war on the people of Southern Cameroons on 30th November 2017 and the ongoing genocidal violence, scorched-earth policies that have led to the destruction of communities, life and property, culminating in a humanitarian catastrophe aggravated by the refusal of the Republic of Cameroon to allow unfettered passage to humanitarian assistance and the refusal to allow United Nations teams investigating right violations, also reaffirming the inalienable right of Southern Cameroons to self-defense and to a homeland of their own, free of domination by a foreign power. I hereby call my colleagues to fully read the resolutions. Thank you.
Hereby freely resolves, after days of intensive deliberations, Resolution 1, that the Southern Cameroons Liberation Council, henceforth referred to as SCLC, is hereby created. It shall construe its standing orders and shall work collegially to coordinate, strategize, and carry out all such actions, including gender initiatives and internal conflict resolution mechanisms as may be necessary to foster the liberation of Southern Cameroons.
Now, that's the first resolution that talks about the creation of the Southern Cameroons Liberation Council. And you must have heard the confusion on social media about people saying that the IG has been dissolved, even before some of the leaders in this protocol agreement, this gentleman agreement, came out to debunk those lies. What do you think is the interest of these people or persons who are peddling this kind of lies on social media when they're killing people on ground zero, like you people will call it?
You know, dishonest people don't take time to read. I read all of the text creating and all the resolutions and all, I mean the text creating the Liberation Council, and it's very explicit in itself. For anybody to think that it dissolves the IG, those are little minds. Let everybody go back and read that text. I think it's the best thing that ever happened to this revolution, because it brings together all the frontline movements, including the IG, so that they can resolve their conflicts, they can carry forward whatever plans they have for the revolution without necessarily contradicting each other. It does not, it keeps all the movements and the IG where they are, where they were before the creation of that council. And anybody who thinks that that council dissolves the IG is dishonest, or he was not interested in the conference.
Well, going forward, you know, the IG has now, you know, in a kind of you know, a coalition. Of course, it is a coalition with all those other frontline movements.
Exactly.
Now, is there some particular issues about the IG's control as the main body? I put it the main body. I don't want to say the only body. As the main body piloting the revolution?
No, the IG controls the government. The IG is the government as of now. Our government as of now.
When you say it's our government, but
the government of the interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia.
But there are some people who say now they don't, you know, they don't recognize the IG.
Well, that's their cup of tea. But for now, on ground zero, we all know that that is our government.
Okay.
That is what is. That's what is. I will dare anybody to contradict me, because that's what I said on SCBC. I'm saying it now. The IG is the one that has been fighting this war, that has been financing this war, that has been doing all what it's doing for this war for the last 14 months, since our leaders were abducted. Now, for anybody to sit and say the IG is not working or it's a waste of time, let that person go to ground zero. Ground zero, all the fighters, whom I salute very, very sincerely here. I think we should not have been talking very, very loudly if the fighters were not there. They are the backbone of this revolution, and I salute them.
So there are some people, to be precise, we know them. Yeah, you know, because I follow the Southern Cameroons war as an independent media organ.
Yes.
Apart from being the activist that some people will know me, but here is National Telegraph.
Yes.
So there's some people who are so concerned about the IG being dissolved until they do not get into the nitty-gritties of the resolutions. What do you make of those people? I want to really get a point. I mean, how significant is the outing of such persons who are trying to contradict the popular opinion that some of you have about the interim government?
For those who were very honest in making that observation are those who are in support of the IG. I would say, please go back and read the text of the council that was created, along with the MOU. Read it, you will find out that it has not affected the IG in one bit. In fact, it has enhanced the
work of the IG.
The work of the IG.
Yesterday, you told me why we were planning on this interview when I invited you for dinner. You actually told National Telegraph authoritatively that you probably will think that about 99% of the people of Southern Cameroon on ground zero endorsed the interim government of Siseko Ayoktabe Julius, that's now led by Dr. Samuel Ikomisako. How true and how much can you defend this assertion?
I don't need to defend it. I'm coming from ground zero. I'm coming from, I'm leading a team of more than 100 lawyers, and everybody thinks the same way. We are defending our leader, our interim president, and we know that the government still exists because under the leadership of His Excellency Samuel Sako, and he is holding brief for the leader who's in jail. And as soon as the leader comes out of jail, he will take up the baton of leadership of our country, or of our struggle if we have not yet out of the country.
Just a little bit of digression before we come back to the IG stuff.
Yes.
You just addressed Dr. Samuel Sako, His Excellency, and you'll be going back to Cameroon where you will be facing the regime of Paul Biya, the president of Cameroon.
I understand that.
So are you not worried about giving this grant in this interview?
I'm not worried one bit because we're in a revolution. We are fighting. We are not.
You think it's your right to speak?
It's my right to say what I said, and I've said it. And let the heavens come down. I've said so.
Okay, we just want to be sure because you know.
But Eric, let me tell you,
yes.
I don't see anybody with his right mind quarreling with me on that. I don't see anybody.
So you mean that anybody who want to contest the fact that you should not address Dr. Samuel Sako as His Excellency or Siseko Ayoktabe Julius as His Excellency should be a mad person?
Yes, well, I wouldn't say mad, but it should be somebody who is against us. Okay,
that's fine. Now, going forward, I think we have discussed, comprehensively about the interim government.
Yes.
Everybody is aware. And 99% you think the diaspora too supports the interim government that way from social media?
I wouldn't know, but I think that a majority of the diaspora supports the interim government. There are detractors here and there, but even the frontline leaders that met with the interim government and for this conference, which ground zero, 99.99% welcomes it. They all know that we have an interim government.
Okay.
Whether they maybe if they have any problems with it, all they can do is now that they have a forum,
they can handle it.
They can propose
solutions
how to make the IG work efficiently. But for now, we have a government.
Okay. Now, I understand when you say there is a government. I think as a journalist and being critical, I also see that, and I can ascertain to the fact that the United States State Department declares Siseko Ayoktabe Julius in a very comprehensive human rights report as president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia.
Exactly.
So that was not you, it was the United States that did that declaration. Exactly. Other parties, including Barrister Abobala, recognizes Siseko as the president. Tassam Wilfred, who is also part of the consortium, also does the same, and from them.
Tassam Wilfred is one of my clients, one of our clients, being detained in the principal prison along with our president.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. If you're just tuning in, this is National Telegraph Broadcasting Corporation, and we're here with Barrister Fujon So. He's the lead attorney or lawyer, if you like, for 10 plus Southern Cameroonians, leaders and citizens, as they will call it, detained in various detention centers around what they prefer to call now La République du Cameroun, which stands for the French part of Cameroon, and the Southern Cameroons, aka Ambazonia, which stands for the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon, as before the crisis that started.
I would like to refer them as the Northern Zone and the Southern
Zone. Okay, that's how he prefers to refer them. But at the National Telegraph, we understand that you people call it the Northern Zone and the Southern Zones, and you call the divisions that were formerly existed before the crisis as counties, and you call the subdivisions as local government areas. But we at the National Telegraph, for professional reasons, we still maintain the fact that we understand that the country is fighting for separation to restore her independence, but as at now, it's still part of south of Cameroon until further notice. So thank you very much for getting that clarification. This brings us to one other very primordial issue. An investigation that has been carried out by National Telegraph has shown that there are detainees right up to part of Ngandere that have been held in La République du Cameroun, like you could prefer to call it. That Southern Cameroonians were transferred from Cambe to Ngandere and other parts of the extreme north, as we've gathered. We also know that there are about 4 women or more who are dying and in critical condition in detention centers in Yaoundé. And we have detainees like we have gathered in Bamenda, in Mamfe, in Boya. And somebody tipped us at the last court hearing that there is what they have created a kind of defense, a group of lawyers that have been partitioned in the various what they call detention centers. So you want to brief us on the situation of detainees? We hear it's very precarious.
Yes.
What's the situation?
Before I talk about the detainees, I must tell you that just before the last pre-trial conference, which I presided over, we created, we nominated lawyers for all the detention centers where Ambazonians are.
So National Telegraph is actually right?
Yes, yes,
okay.
You're right. And for Yaoundé, which has 193 plus in the central prison and the principal prison, anywhere between 30 and 40, is handled by Barrister Don Christopher. And for Douala, where we have 145 detainees, is handled by Barrister Victor, who is a lawyer in Boya. For Boya, you have Barrister Njong, who handles not only Boya but Kumba and Manthe. For Bamenda, you have Barrister Joseph Fru, who is handling more than 200 plus detainees in Bamenda. Boya has about 400 to 450 detainees. For Bafoussam, there's a barrister whose name has just escaped my memory.
Just before
but there's one barrister that we appointed that is handling Bafoussam.
So just one quick minute before you escape my mind. I have a secret stringer in Edea too, who told me that we actually have some detainees in Edea.
We have now 6 detainees in Edea.
Yeah, somebody told me from Edea.
And that is tied to Douala.
Okay, yes. I didn't know about that.
Nditang, Victor Nditang is the barrister handling Douala and Edea.
So now, given all these figures, it looks very small to the mass arrests that have been going on. Would it appear that the government of Mr. Probia has probably put some people in Communicado, killed some, and have not declared some to be registered as detainees?
Oh no! There are so many. We have more than 2,000 of our people detained in the various prisons across La République du Cameroun and in Ambazonia. So I just gave you those names as lead counsels, but there will be lawyers that will be that he will get together so that they work in synergy to defend all these people.
What about
and they are all being tried.
Grand North.
Grand North. We don't. From Ngandere, when I go back with my assistant, who is Barrister Padillon in Bamenda, we will explore to see whether we actually have detainees in Ngandere and in the Grand North.
But you've not come across a Romo like that?
We have come across a Romo like that, but we are not yet sure. Until we do that, when we do that, we will now appoint a lawyer out there who will now get a group of defense lawyers and go on. We are determined to defend everybody, every Ambazonian who is in the La République dungeons across the country. When I mean across the country, I mean La République du Cameroun and Ambazonia. We are determined to defend all of them, including, of course, the main case, that the biggest case in Cameroon now is Ayuk Tabe, Julius, and 9 others.
9 others, yes.
And of
course,
the
other
33 we have 35 lawyers who are defending them.
We have some other
led by me.
We have some other detainees that also were part of the judgment in Abuja. I think,
yes, they are all in central prison. They are all in the central prison of Kondenge in Yaoundé. There are 37 of them. And of course, you know that the Nigerian judgment includes them.
Of course, yes.
Includes them. And we'll be talking about that Nigerian judgment.
Yeah, of course, in the course of this show.
Yes.
Now, we have this very serious issue about the conditions of these detainees. We hear some of them. In fact, as a matter of fact, I got information 3 days ago that one of the detainees was operated upon and seriously ill and might not even be able to make it because he had issues with the spinal cord. How true is this and related to the situation and conditions of other detainees?
Exactly, Eric. Before I came here, I went to the central prison and I met him. His name is John Marino. He has been operated on the stomach, and before I left, he was going for a second operation on the spinal cord. I don't know how successful it will be, but the biggest problem is that there is no money. Nobody takes care. All these injuries were caused by torture. They were tortured by the...
Who were torturing them? So
yeah, the forces of law and order of La République du Cameroon tortured this young man until he became...
So are you trying to tell the world, the international community, that the government of Cameroon is committing grievous human rights violations?
I am telling the world now that is just one of the gruesome violation of human rights by La République du Cameroon soldiers. They beat up this young man until they broke his spinal cord.
In jail? Somebody?
No, when he was arrested and detained. They tortured him before they could bring him to jail. He had already been tortured. So John Merino is there. I don't even know whether he's going to survive. First of all, there's no money. The hospital that operated for free, and they are now, but they cannot give drugs. They cannot give anything. They brought him back to prison when the plaster was still on. The treatment was supposed to have been going on, but there was no treatment because of no money. When I got there, I was so flabbergasted. I saw his condition, and I am happy to announce that he went back for the operation of the surgery of the spinal cord. Up to now, I don't know his condition. That's why in my speech, which I faxed to this conference, I was crying that the Amazonians should set up a defense fund, a serious defense fund, appoint somebody in the diaspora to manage that defense fund so that these prisoners can be taken care of medically, feeding them, and making sure that they are comfortable wherever they are in all the jails, because La République has just dumped them all around. They don't have any caretaking obligation towards them. They don't feed them. They don't do anything to them. They don't medically. They don't take care of them. No doctor, no La République doctor has come to visit anybody. And there are 5 serious cases in the central prison right now in the hospitals. And I'm calling on all Amazonians to do something and create a defense fund, which will not only take care of, as just announced, lawyers. As you move lawyers, if they don't have transportation, they don't have anything
so
to pay.
What was the experience during the lockdown, since you were crying with
during the experience of lockdown, it was quite a gruesome experience, but for the fact that Eric Tato and his friends raised 4 million francs and sent to me, which I distributed to all these lawyers. Plus the fact that the interim government has sent some money, at least. So
you said there was some money that was raised for the lawyers.
Yes.
Did you receive the money?
Yes, we received 4 million.
Announced on Facebook?
We received 4 million from Eric Tato.
No, who sent you the money? I want to know how you got the money. Who sent you the money? Because definitely.
No. It's Amazonians through the effort of Eric Tato.
Because we understand that the Secretary of Finance sent that money to you.
No. It was not the Secretary of Finance who sent the money. The Secretary of Finance barely helped for that money to get to us. But we know that the money came from these 3 activists who raised the money by calling on Amazonians.
Would you just want to be sure that at least you received
we received 4 million. We received 4 million francs, and we were able to alleviate the sufferings of lawyers during that lockdown, who were all in Yaoundé. And we would like to take this opportunity to thank not only Eric Tato, we thank Mark Barata and Joshua Carr.
Joshua Carr.
Yes, for all the effort they did to raise that money.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll move further. And with more questions, you say it's a very pathetic situation, I must say. You have heard the narrative about the situation of detainees, of Southern Cameroonians who are held in various detention centers across the Republic of Cameroon, what is now called La République du Cameroon, which will comprise of 8 regions, and the Southern Cameroons comprising of 2 regions, the English-speaking regions now preferred, the northern and southern zones of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Yes. If you are just joining us, you're welcome to this special edition of The Map. We are talking with Barrister Fujian. So he's the lead lawyer for Ambazonian separatist leaders who have been held in various in detention, in a particular detention center in the French Cameroon capital of Yaoundé. Once more, you're welcome. We continue this interview. We stay still with the issue of the detainees. We heard about some women, that women are also amongst those who have been detained.
Yes, I met them.
What is the situation?
I met them except one, because when I came in to visit them, one had gone to court. And we didn't know that she was...
What's their crime?
We did not know that she... What crime? I can tell you, the one who came from Kumbu actually told me that they came looking for her husband, and they didn't find her husband.
So they arrested her?
They arrested her and claimed that she knows where her husband is keeping guns.
But
that is all her crime.
So do you people have something in law like transfer?
No. Criminal responsibility is individual, Eric.
I was just asking because I know that as far as the Bible is concerned, that salvation is personal.
Yes.
So it's
also
personal.
Criminal responsibility is personal, Eric.
But if the one
it's an abuse. It's an abuse of judicial process by arresting a spouse because you couldn't find...
But when the spouse has a problem, the government gives pension to the wife. Maybe that's the idea. That
No. It has nothing to do with that.
I was just kidding anyway.
It has nothing to do with that. This lady has done nothing except that they didn't find her husband.
I also got information.
And she later on told me that they later on the army killed her husband. And now she heard that her husband is now dead. So
she's in jail with children are just anyhow.
She has one child who is now with the parents in Kumbu. And I met another young lady in Limbe who had been caught in Limbe because she was doing a petty business of this mobile money. She was doing mobile money. They caught her, took all her money, the money she had on her from the mobile money transaction, 400,000, they took it, and from her account, 200,000, they blocked it. And they caught her and said that she was recruiting Ambazonians, and that is her crime. And she's there in prison in central prison in Kondenge. There's another lady from Kumba, she doesn't even know why she's there.
Okay.
They arrested her and she's there in the central prison. The fourth one was in court, and I detailed a lawyer to find out what's going on. And to make sure that her case is taken over by the defense team.
So going forward, we will touch on some other things. We will also open the lines for some of our listeners to call. We intend to keep this program very brief. We are almost running through. Probably we have about 25 or thereabout more minutes to end the show. We want to be brief because, now we want to find out from you a couple of other things. You're going to Boston, Massachusetts, and you'll be talking to the people, Southern Cameroonians in Boston, together with Professor Carlson Anyangwe. Yeah. What is your feeling? What are you expecting?
I'm very excited to meet my fellow countrymen in Boston. They have been very nice to the defense team. They had contributed to the defense of the leaders. I can tell you that they are a great group of Ambazonians down there in Boston. I expect to have a very good time because this time is a town hall, and I hope that every Ambazonian living around Boston and even the cities nearer to Boston will make it to that town hall meeting, so that they can hear from the horse's own mouth, from ground zero. I'll be there.
Okay, so Boston, we're going to announce that address soon. I hope we can also make it at the National Telegraph. Yes. Now, going forward, there's this very vital information that I got from the Crown that I want to confirm with you about the case of the leaders, the Southern Cameroon leaders. We understand, of course, it was adjourned to the 8th of April.
Yes.
But I got information that the lawyers have written to the court to cancel that date. And
I don't know how you get your information, but that is correct.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
And then move it forward to sometime in May.
Yes.
So you want to brief us on that, if that's true?
No, the way and manner in which the adjournment was done without consultation with us to see whether that date fits us, because you know lawyers are coming all over across the Amazonia to come and do this case, and we have now written to the court and craving the indulgence of the court to adjourn the matter to sometime in May. We have cited a couple of dates in May. We will not be in court on the 8th. Neither would we are also serving that letter on our clients so that they know that they don't have to go to court.
Okay, so it's certain that on the 8th, you people have...
no, there will be no case.
There will be no case on the 8th. So I just wanted to be sure, because when
will not be there.
I got information, I just said that
there will be an adjournment.
just came to me.
We have craved the indulgence of the court to adjourn
the case. So they will not be taken there.
Yes.
But what if they take them there by force?
No, nobody can be forced to go to court. They will be served the very letter that we have written to the court, and they will now tell them that, look, our lawyer, in the absence of our lawyers, we will not go to court. So I think why would they be going to court when their lawyers will not be there?
Just briefly, there was a lot of drama in court on the day that the new magistrate tried to. What really happened and what?
Look, the judge who was handling the matter was transferred to the military court in Boya, and a new judge came from Bamenda. And when he came from Bamenda, according to the law, he's supposed to start that case de novo. What do I mean by de novo? Start the case from the beginning as if he doesn't know anything, and he's not supposed to know anything about the case. Just take the file and open and start from the beginning. This gentleman came from Bamenda, and before we know it, he adopted and relied on all the evidence that has been recorded by the previous judge, and said he would take on from where the previous judge left.
Which is illegal.
We told him that was illegal. That's not the law, and he insisted and tried to arraign our clients, and we said no, you will not do that. And he just decided to be going. He didn't want to give any of us an opportunity to talk, so we decided to react otherwise, and we blocked all proceedings. We wanted him to start the case from the beginning, so that because we came prepared to start the case again, and that's what the law provides. And for him to have done that, it was a travesty of justice. So we couldn't allow that go on. We had to protect our clients. So we stood up like one man and fought against him. And in the course of that, he delayed the trial, taking breaks. At one time, he took a break for more than 4 hours, came back at 8 p.m. in the night, and adjourned the case out of anger, adjourned the case to the 8th. Just a few days, that's about 6 days from the hearing that we were holding. And we thought that it was uncalled for. Lawyers have to travel back to where they are coming from, and to be coming back to Yaoundé on the 8th, it's not fair. So we decided to write to the court. We respect the law. We write to the court and ask for further adjournment, which would be in May, to allow us to come back after we have gone back to our chambers and look at the other cases, look at our schedules and so on before we come back. That is where we are after now.
All right, so if you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, once more, you're on to National Telegraph. To follow us, you can follow us on YouTube. We are at YouTube on National Telegraph. This show is also being televised live on YouTube, as you can see. Okay. Those of you on YouTube, you can follow us on YouTube, or you can also follow us. If you see the follow button here, click follow so that you get more of our shows, because henceforth we'll be broadcasting most of our shows here on National Telegraph, which is our professional and official site. So we'll go forward, and we have a lot of questions we'll ask Barrister, but we're trying to catch up with time. Now, there is this thing that's going on ground zero, like you people call it, lockdown. Yes. For 10 days. You must have heard about it, and about the coming event that is known as the Festac, which is, of course, the Limbe Festival of Arts and Culture. Maybe somebody is trying to call. We're going to take calls from people. Let's see. Yes, you have a call? You have a question?
Yeah, good afternoon. I just want to thank Barrister Pro for the tremendous job he is doing for our leaders and crisscrossing the town. I know it's very dangerous, but God will see him through. Now, I just want to find out. We know last time when the DC conference had the issue that dissolved that collaboration was the issue of money. The leaders agreed that before this, they agreed before the conference that when we raise money, this is how they will do. This is what they will do. This is where they will keep the money. And when the money came up, the leaders turned around and shifted the goalpost. Now, because they knew that everybody is accusing the interim government that they are the one who don't want collaboration. So they turn around and do that, and then turn to blame now the interim government. Chris Anu came out and clarified that what they decided before the conference is not what played out after the conference. So everybody clamped down on Chris Anu, and they held him responsible for dissolving the first DC conference. At the end of the day, the same leaders now are testifying that it was another group that caused the failure of that conference. So now, this other collaboration, what will happen if these same leaders go behind to violate the same collaboration rules that they have put in place? Because Chris Anu has been vindicated for not being the spoiler of the first DC conference.
Okay.
So what will happen if this leader goes behind again to do the dirty job? Because we want to promote that unity. We want to jealously keep it, but you don't really know because people always have something behind.
Dear mind. All right.
You may not know.
Thank you very much, caller. We want to keep it short. Okay. I think I've followed up very closely, although we have issues with our WhatsApp. Just to inform you, we'll be reinstating our WhatsApp by weekend or thereabout. So the other group that has clearly been called out is the group that was absent during the last conference. That they are the people who destroyed it. I think everybody knows the group. And, you know, because we at the National Telegraph, we followed up the discussions. And it's not going to be an issue because as a press, we can call the group out for being what they are. We gathered information that a certain AGC, that is led by a certain Cho Ayaba in Norway, was actually responsible for propelling and facilitating the failure of the DC conference when the Ambazonian leaders met. And people are of the opinion that he didn't come in this other conference. According to the interviews that we had with people in the hall that were present, because National Telegraph was there, they were happy that he didn't come, or the group didn't come, because they think that that group is a spoiler in the revolution. Do you hold that same opinion, Barrister Fujon? So you've been following affairs on the ground, and
I don't know what group you are referring to.
I'm referring to the AGC, which is...
No, the AGC, I think, from my reading so far, they are a spoiler. And the more they stay out, the better for the revolution. That's all I want to say. I don't want to get involved in the fight in the diaspora. But I also want to say that I think I'm suggesting that we'll put everything that happened before in the back burner and forge forward.
So
what has happened in the conference, in this conference in Washington D.C. Is the greatest achievement of this revolution, and we should forget about AGC because they don't exist. I don't know whether they exist on ground zero because I have not since the debacle of Guzang and General Ivo. I've not heard anything about ADF anywhere.
According to my findings as a pressman, the information I gathered is that this same group we are talking about, you know, because this is a question that came from somebody, and we have to clarify since you're talking about you don't know if they exist on ground zero. I gathered information that they are stockpiling some materials. That's why they are not fighting, because it is purported that the Cho Ayaba of a guy wants to go down to somewhere where he'll be televised as a commander of the army of Southern Cameroon, so that he will not take charge of the revolution as the commander-in-chief, like they call him, CIC. And so people are beginning to wonder, you know, we cannot expand more than this. But we already have leaders who are on ground zero who are already taking command because they already took command right in the court. If he goes to ground zero and televise like he did in Dadi, what will you hold of that?
Listen, Ayawa cannot fool anybody on ground zero. Ground zero is now united, the boys are united and they are fighting. Any gimmick, you let him stay with it in Norway.
So if you come on ground zero, it will just be some small film stuff. It will not have any impact?
Forget it. He's dreaming.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. You listened there. Thank you very much, caller. The phone number to call, if you are calling from ground zero, your identity will be protected. You can call this line on +1 202 390 2247. You can decide to introduce yourself or you conceal your identity, but you have the right to ask a question. So it's +1 202 390 2247. We take calls from everybody, including people who have divergent views with the barrister. It's your right to call. National Telegraph is a propeller and a proponent of free press. Once more, you're welcome. We're expecting your call on +1 202 390 2247. But going forward, while we're expecting calls, let's talk a little bit about the judgment of the Federal High Court Abuja.
Yes.
What is happening? Why is the Nigerian government taking too long?
Oh no, the Nigerian government is not taking too long. We 5 of us joined.
We'll take this call. Then each time calls come, we'll have to interrupt.
Okay.
And so we'll take this call really quickly. Yes, Mr. Caller, you're welcome to the map on National Telegraph.
Yes, hi, Mr. Arikato. Thank you for taking my call. I want to also thank Barrister John Fu for a wonderful job he's been doing. I cannot thank him enough. He's an icon to me. He's a godsend. I want to appreciate all he's been doing for our leaders that have been locked up in the dungeon in the Republic. I want to appreciate especially his courage. His courage is unmatched. But the question I have for Barrister John Fu is that for us that are in diaspora and that are looking towards what is going on, the fraying going on in the Republic, can you give us, because we get confused, we don't know what is the temperature like in the Republic. What are they thinking about what we're doing? Are they starting to realize that it is done? There's no way we can be together anymore. Is that starting to sink in, where they are starting to realize that, you know what, this thing that we thought was just a little struggle, this thing looks like it's going to end up being a 2 separate countries. What is your feeling? What do you feel is it feel like in ground zero in the Republic? How the people, how's the temperature like there? How are the people actually thinking within the political class?
All right, thank you so much, caller. I think I got that question really well.
Thank you.
So you got that?
Yes,
so
I got a question. I must answer you frankly what I think. What I think is that they have lost. They all know that they have lost the Southern Cameroons. It cannot be otherwise, because when you start killing more than 2,000, 3,000 people, burning down villages, more than 215 villages, destroying people's homes, destroying people's lives, killing women, children, and old men, burning some old men in their homes, and so on. How do you expect those people to come back into a union with you? They are human beings. They know that they are not expecting much from us. They are not expecting us to get together. I interact with a lot of Francophones in Douala, and the language has changed from the time we started. Up to now, the language has changed, and they are now begging us. Why?
So you think they know separation is real?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take this other caller at this juncture. So I think that question is very much answered. Yeah, hello, caller, you're welcome.
Hello, Eric.
Yes, sir. Oh, thank you so much, bro. How you doing, Mr. Gideon?
Thank God.
You're calling from Missouri, yes.
Calling from Missouri, that's correct. I want to first of all say, Papa, would he thank you?
Thank you.
Would he thank you, and would he pray, say, may God give you the wisdom, the direction, and the safety that you need to make our leaders free while we do our part.
They will be free. They will be free in God's name. They will be free in God's name.
Amen. I wanted to ask you something. As somebody who's working with the HSS, if we could have a list if it's a comprehensive one for us to be able to, because we try to keep track of who is where and where, so we can know what percentage of help we can send to the different prisons all around.
Okay. When I get back, I'll be able to give you a comprehensive list. Because we have a list. We have a list from all the.
We'll get it.
We are there live. We'll get the list.
So how is he going to get it? That's the question.
Okay. If you can send to Eric your email, Eric will forward it to us, and when I get it, I will email you.
Yeah, of course. I talk with Gideon very frequently. Just to let you know, Gideon is one of the few Ambazonians that drove all the way from Missouri to the South Bend in Indiana when the corpse of later a missionary, Charles Truman Wesco, was flown in from Cameroon. He was actually there, and we're there together. Thank you very much, Brother Gideon, for calling. We'll take this other call quickly. Okay. Yeah, hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're welcome to the show. Eric Tato, of course, you want to ask questions to Barrister Fujon, so
thank you very much for the show. I have a question for Barrister Fujon.
Yes.
Barrister, we hear about all kinds of groups on ground zero, so my main question is about county by county, because from my experience, I'm expecting county by county to be like the front runner of the revolution right now on ground zero, because based on common sense, I would think since people like to support their various counties, it should be a lot easier to raise funds and support your own brother. If I know this guy from down the street, as an under fighter, I can easily raise money and send to help him than to send money to some guy I don't know where he's at. Or though I know we are all Ambazonians, but I would rather support county by county.
Because you want greater accountability, you want transparency. So he's trying to ask that. What do you think about the policy? You think?
The policy in itself, county by county, LGA by LGA, is very, very good. It's very good because I don't want to divulge anything, but in terms of granola and sugarcane, I think most of the counties have been well furnished, but there are few counties that are running short, and you know that when counties run short and they're unable, the IG comes in somehow to augment So I think it's a good policy, and the only problem is that some of the counties there's a lot of power mongering and power fighting, and the IG should step in and sort that out, so that when they know who is in charge of which county. And I think it's
okay. We'll take this other question very quickly. Thank you. Yes, hello.
Yes, Mr. Ellis. Good afternoon.
Yeah, we'll have somebody calling from Indiana. Yes, you're welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
Hey, Ellis, I just have a quick question to ask Barrister Fujon, and I'm going to use this opportunity to thank him for all the good job he has been doing.
Thank you.
Of our detainees and our leaders.
Yes.
So I have this question for you. I have seen as a very strong man in this revolution. I have been reading comments on this show, and my question is this: a lot of people still speak on the Angola, and they are unable to mention the name Southern Cameroon. They are able to mention the name Ambazonia, and they know our history very well. And you live on ground zero. But Daddy, are you not afraid that when you go back to the Republic, you can no longer feel you? This is my question. Thank you so much.
I like to inform you that people in ground zero know that they are Ambazonians and that they are Southern Cameroonians. That one is a given. When I say ground zero, it's commonly what you refer to as when you refer to us Ambazonians back home. But everybody from the northern zone to the southern zone, we all know that we are all Ambazonians. that one is not an issue. We all know that we are of the Southern Cameroons, Ambazonia.
Okay.
So,
some people say let Pa talk, but we are trying to make the questions very short and the answers too precise so that everybody can participate.
Exactly.
Most people. So we'll take this to that call. I think Pa has answered, but he's asking that: are you not scared that if you go back there, something's going to happen to you?
Oh, I'm not scared. I'm there with them every day. They know where I live. They follow me. They do everything to stifle me. They have hacked my email. They've hacked everything. They have my phone on the listening. I am of the thick skin.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Thank you so much. We'll take this other call from Great Britain, from the UK. Yes, Chief, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Eric. Thank you for the great job that you're doing. I'm Chief Chingo, you know me, I'm your friend.
Of course, yes. I didn't want to call your name, that's why I said Chief, because I saw your name, so I want to make sure you are free to introduce yourself.
We are in this together and
okay.
Everything. We fear nothing again. We are Ambazonians. If far from ground zero can say he is from ground zero and he's talking about sticks and sugar cane and granules, then I don't think those of us in the diaspora should fear anything. Anyway, Panso, frankly, on behalf of my own family, I want to say congratulations. I want to say thank you. I mean, a very big thank you for the great job that you are doing.
Thank you, sir.
We are all afraid. We fear the fact that you come up here once in a while and you talk the way you talk. We just want to believe that the gods of our ancestors are going to protect you all the time. And we also want to say that when you go back home, extend our warm regards, thanks to all of those lawyers who are involved in this great
thank you very much, sir.
Of the people of Ambazonia.
Thank you so much, Chief.
Much to say. I just want to say that we will, even as the SDF is struggling, ADF and the AGC are struggling to be stubborn, we are all Ambazonians. We cannot deny anyone's right to be Ambazonian.
Exactly.
We will all look for mechanisms to put everything together so we all come together, because it is only when we will finally be together that we will be able to hit the harder. I know that, however the case now, La Republic is already feeling us. It is feeling us, and it will feel us harder because we work in the background, we work in front, we speak, and it works. And it will work. So we will try to put everything together.
Thank you so much, Chief. God bless you.
I want to use this opportunity to say that everybody who is watching and listening to me at this moment, if they are from the AAG Gulf or the AJC as it used to be called, and they are listening to me, please let us talk to our own brother, Ayabacho Lucas. I used to call him on the phone, but his line has not been going through. I think the number has been changed, so we can meet. We can come together, we can meet. There are a lot of people who are confused. They don't even contribute any longer because they don't just understand the position of things at the moment. So please, if you are of the AGC and you are listening to me now, please let us come together. We see power here in pain coming right from La Republic, from the mouth of the lion, and coming to talk to us with this courage. It is because he is very sure of what he is fighting for. It is a sign of guarantee. It is some kind of saying that, my people, I am not just saying it, I want to guarantee you that Ambazonia is free, or it is going to be free.
Thank you so much, Chief. We have other callers so that we try to be brief.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, my people. Thank you, and courage, my people. Courage.
Okay, thank you so
Chief.
much.
Thank you,
okay.
Chief. Thank you very much, Chief.
We'll take this other caller from Germany. I think
yes.
Chief was giving a kind of counsel and advice.
Yes.
It's very pertinent for everybody. Unity is absolute.
Yes.
So we'll have this caller from Germany. You're welcome to the show. Hello?
Yeah, good evening. I just have a question I wanted to ask.
Yes.
I can't say much rather than to say a lot of our land and our ancestors will cover you.
Thank you, sir.
My question here is it revolutionary for anyone serving in the revolution to be paid? I think the first person I once proposed that the only person who can even lead this revolution should be Eric Tato, because he spent his own money trying to promote the revolution. Why should anybody working like for the ID should even have house rent when the guys on the ground who are sacrificing their lives haven't been paid? It doesn't make sense to me. If you want to work,
that's
you are either working to contribute or you stay beside. Because the people who are giving all this GoFundMe and doing this, they are not being paid. If you want to serve like a leader, you should even have a salary that every month, at least 30% of your salary
should be contributed.
All right. Move the revolution forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Another point is, Eric Tato, I just want to make this clear to you. You are now live on Facebook. You have 1,200 people viewing you. When Chris Ann goes on a TV station, that they are spending 13,000 paying people working there, then we have 600, 700. So why can't he create Facebook?
Well,
and use that money to
is that?
sponsor the revolution?
Well, thank you. I think you have made very important points that Barrister can also address. But you know, I'm just an interviewer. I'm not an interviewee. So, Barrister, you want to attempt some answers to the questions, to the worries
yes,
of our.
Except that we lawyers are working for free. That is, we do what they call pro bono. Pro bono, that is, we are not charging a fee. Across the country, we are defending our people without a fee. The only thing we ask for is that most of us from Ground Zero and otherwise have no income now because we have abandoned our offices, we have abandoned everything. We have no income, nothing to live on. So all we're asking is to pay hotel bills and to eat. That's all we have, and transportation to where we're going.
I think the caller is aware that he's trying to talk about leaders in the diaspora.
Leaders in the diaspora.
I think
I am not going to
comment on that.
To comment on that, sir.
Okay.
But I want to thank you. I want to thank you for making that known that all of us are supposed to sacrifice. Thank you very much, Chief.
All right, so we will be running off in the next 10 minutes, so we'll take a few callers. But before we take the other callers, we was talking about the lockdown. And so let's take this from our brother Godlove. Godlove is a very crucial personality in this revolution. Mr. Godlove, how are you doing? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Godlove, bro, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you very much. And I just want to appreciate, Barrister for his time, you know, out there. He's doing a great job. Without him, I think this struggle would have been down. Barrister.
Thank you, sir.
I think you are God sent to the revolution.
Thank you, sir.
We thank you for everything that we have been doing, and we would like to ask our elites who are still in the devil's camp to know that they are helping to kill our people. All those guys who are working in the Republic, who haven't seen any reason to sympathize with us, there will be a day that we shall come after them. Even after this revolution is over. Whenever they step their legs back in those villages, we shall hit them and hit them very hard. Eric Tato, thank you so much for all you are doing. Like one of the previous callers mentioned, we would like to call on our brother Ayabacho. He has been doing a great job. We shouldn't let go of that. We have to call him to come back home and work with his people. We have to call his collaborators to come back home and work with his people. And the IGO also should understand that this revolution is not a physical battle, it's a spiritual battle. The division that we are seeing in this revolution, it is something that has been highly spiritualized. The earlier we understand this, the more reason we have to come together and work as a family.
All right, thank you so much, Godlove. Before you go, Barrister,
let me make a small comment on that. I very much appreciate the fact that we want to unite together. But we in Ground Zero, we are so used to blood that when the blood comes from the hands of one of our brothers, it's not taken very lightly. But I appreciate your gesture of trying to unite everybody, including Ayabacho. But as I said...
Well, so it's like Ground Zero has an impression about that particular man?
Yeah, Ground Zero has an impression about that particular man because his hands are soiled with blood. We know about, you know about what happened in Guzang, and you know about what happened to General Ivo. I don't want to go any further than that, but I'm saying that, well, in spite of all that, he should come on. He should come to the table. He is one of us.
But you just said a while ago that AGC doesn't exist.
So. Well, it doesn't exist in Ground Zero, but at the time of the killings, they were there. Right now, as I'm talking, I've not heard anything about AGC or ADF forces.
So it's like some kind of illusion only on Facebook probably.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you so much. Now we'll touch on one very important thing before we go, the lockdown that we started talking before we had callers. So we'll try this issue before we take some few last callers. So we'll finish about this lockdown issue. Now, you, of course, know the situation of the people on the ground. And this almost, I can say, another 10-day lockdown has been announced after the most successful one that has just passed. And they announced it because of the FESTAC, according to explanations that we have gathered. What significance you think that FESTAC would be, that it is important for it to be disrupted?
Well, the lockdown is only for FACO. It's only for FACO, and not all of FACO, from Mutengene and from Tico down to Victoria.
But they said it's the entire FACO, so Moyoka is not there? Or?
No, I don't think Moyoka is there because we don't want people going to that FESTAC. All we are saying is that we are trying to implement what has been decreed by the interim government. No festivity, nothing organized by the Republic of Cameroon. Nothing should be allowed to take place.
So you think the lockdown?
And secondly,
you support the lockdown?
I support the lockdown. And secondly, FACO cannot be enjoying. I mean, Victoria cannot be feasting while the rest of the country are living in the bushes. And that is why our fighters have decided that there should be a lockdown so that that event should not take place. And I fully support them. But it's not the whole country though. We're not locking down Amazonia.
It's just FACO.
It's just parts of FACO.
Parts of FACO. But how now? I understand that FESTAC will have a lot of personalities. I think probably that's why they are locking down.
They will have a lot of La Republic personalities coming to showcase and to provoke us. The ministers will be coming, the governor will be coming, all these people will be coming. And
according to information that we got from Yaoundé, it is alleged that they will bring TV stations so that they will project.
Oh yes, they will bring Equinox, Canada, CRTV.
To show to the world.
They will have big stands in Limbe and show to the world that in spite of all what you think,
everything is going on
Southern Cameroon everything is going well.
So if FESTAC actually holds, it can actually be detrimental to the revolution.
It will be detrimental to the revolution.
So you think?
I think we should do everything to make sure it doesn't hold.
So do you support the lockdown?
Yes, I was very pissed off when it held last year, and this year something is being done, and I'm in support of that. Okay,
so I think the issue of the lockdown. It's probably somebody who's coming from Ganzo and he thinks of the importance.
I hope our people will not suffer that much. All we want is that you buy your food. Those of you in Mutengene, Tico, and Victoria. For the other places, free movement throughout Amazonia. We're not locking down our whole population. No, just that part. That
of FACO where the FESTAC is taking place.
Where the FESTAC is taking place.
We are the national Telegraph. We heard that there's been very recalcitrant fellows in that part of southern Cameroon that they don't respect what you call ghost town.
Yes, but let me also tell you.
So what is ghost town? Maybe some international viewers that are watching want to understand what is ghost town. When they say ghost town, I hear it's a routine that goes on every Mondays, and so.
Ghost town means you don't come out. There's no activities. There's no.
And it takes place.
It's a kind of a strike, a silent strike.
Yeah.
Without
you people have it every Monday.
We have it every Monday. It has become a tradition.
They call it country fashion.
Yes, country Sunday.
Country Sunday. Okay.
Let me also say that this FESTAC would have been very good when we have our independence and we showcase our tradition. But we cannot be doing that when all the other parts of the country are in difficulty. Take the case of Kumbu. Kumbu now has been destroyed. Kumbu and the villages around burned. All the houses have been burnt. Everything has been burnt down.
In Donga Mantong, we're just getting news of Chom, another village.
Yes, in Donga Mantong. The only place in Donga Mantong that are frowned at is in Cambe Central. In Cambe Central, it's very recalcitrant. It's not. even the ghost town we're talking about in Camber Central is one of those places.
So now, before we go really quickly, very pertinent, somebody was trying to raise concerns, though he didn't ask like a question about some of your elites that are still working in the government of the regime.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. What measures have been taken? What do you propose?
Well, what I hear, what I have heard, I've heard that the Restoration Forces will once more start to work on those offices that are opening up that are still functioning in Amazonia. I heard that in an audio. That said, the parliamentarians are not patriotic Amazonians, because if they were, they would have walked out like we walked out from Enugu, like we walked out from Nigeria. But it looks like they don't care about what happens to us because they earn money. Just
really quickly, just as you're talking, we're taking calls on +2376 +237. What's that? +2
+1.
No, +1 202. I was calling my number.
Yes.
My WhatsApp number. +1 202 390 2247. That's the direct line.
Yes.
Just really quickly, let's get this very important issue so that Barrister will react to it. From one of my friends who sent me this very important stuff from Gojin Dinka,
yes.
Who actually said something about. Let's listen to it before we make this reaction. It's very important. Some people must have listened to it about the parliamentarian.
UN had no powers under the charter to tell us to join one or the other. The charter says, lead the people to their self-government or independence. There are quite a number of people who do not know that there is a 15-page document explaining the meaning of each joining. There was going to be a post-plebiscite conference organized by the United Nations. Question I'm asking you is, has the United Nations organized that post-plebiscite conference? To this day, the answer is no. Fumban conference was neither here nor there. It was an illegal organization. It doesn't conform to this. What this document says, United Nations would convene a conference. United Nations was not at Fumban. Britain was not at Fumban. Page 15. In the event of the Southern and the Northern Cameroon voting.
Okay, so we will take callers that are coming in while we play that.
But let me say this thing about parliamentarians. The parliamentarians they are all unpatriotic because of their earning power, because of the money they are still getting from La République du Cameroon. I want to say that the group parliamentary...
Okay, let this caller just hold on. Just hold on for a few seconds. Let Pa explain, then you ask your question.
The group parliamentary leader for the SDF just died recently, and the warriors are saying he should be buried in Yaoundé because they will not want to see any parliamentarian setting his foot in Amazonia. Before I left, he had not been the burial has not been programmed, and that is a very strong message about the parliamentarians. Let them continue to be there. Our forefathers left Nigeria and came back in 1953.
Okay. So we take this question. Yes. Hello, caller, we are getting you. Hello. Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Eric.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Whatever matters education, it means nothing to me. But my problem is to air out my mind what I've been seeing for the past couple of years based on the Amazonian struggle.
Yes. Please go ahead.
I just want to thank her for the eloquent job he has been doing, and may God continue to protect and guide him throughout the process till Amazonia is free. Okay. This is my question. Based on the ruling of the Abuja High Court,
yes,
that entitled Seseko and Co. are supposed to be granted access back or carried back to Nigeria.
Yes.
Why is it that up to date we haven't got any feedback from the Nigerian government on the issue?
Well,
point two. That's the first question. Yeah.
That's my The second question, if in case Nigeria had to violate that judgment by not taking back our leaders from the Federal Republic of from the Republic of Cameroon, what happens next? That's my second question. And this is my last question to you, Pa. Based on what is happening on ground zero, how do you foresee, or what will happen next, based on the destruction of hospitals, churches in Ambazonian land? Why is it that the international community or the United Nations have not brought La Republique du Cameroon into accountability? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister. So you have the floor.
First question about the Abuja judgment. You will remember that it is not long when we went to court and the judgment came out. We have a lead counsel in Lagos. His name is Femi Falana. I hope you know that.
In favor of reunification.
Go ahead.
Those entrusted with this responsibility.
You know that Femi Falana wrote to the federal government, literally threatening the federal government to execute that judgment within 2 weeks, failing which he will go back to court and ask and hold the Nigerian government in contempt. And the 2 weeks have elapsed. I think my colleague is working on that file very seriously. I want to tell you that my colleague in Lagos is a very vibrant human rights lawyer, one of the best in Nigeria, and he is working on that file very tirelessly. And he is also of the ruling party, so he has access directly to the powers that be. So I would just crave your indulgence for us to give time so that we'll see what is going to happen. But I must tell you that that judgment is causing trouble in La Republique of Cameroon. They don't know how to dance. They don't know where to go. But I am convinced that Nigerian government will officially ask Cameroon through the diplomatic channels to send back our leaders.
So if they don't, that's the next question.
If they don't, it will become a diplomatic problem, and Nigeria will take Cameroon to the United Nations, even though the two of them violated an important international convention. Nigeria is trying to clean up its act, and you know why? Because Nigeria is a candidate for the permanent seat, the only permanent seat that Africa will get in the Security Council, and they are fighting with South Africa on that. So Nigeria has every reason to clean its act, and I'm sure that if they ask Cameroon to send and they don't, they will go into the United Nations. What happens then? I cannot tell you.
So you people.
Number two, the other question was about what is going to happen if they don't. I've just answered.
Yes.
The third one is all the destruction in our homeland. It has been well documented. The satellite imageries are there. We know who is doing what. We know that La Republique soldiers are fully responsible for the total destruction that they have done in our homeland. What is going to happen is that a lot of these people will be tried in the International Court of Justice. It's a matter of time. They will be arrested and tried in the International Court of Justice when the time comes. I don't know when that will be. And secondly, even if I have to be part of the delegation that will be negotiating with La Republique of Cameroon, I will ask at the end of it that after the suppression, I will ask for for damages to be paid, for those our villages to be reconstructed, for all the infrastructure that are destroyed in our homeland to be rebuilt, and we will ask a very heavy sum of money from La Republique of Cameroon. They have not seen anything yet. So that is the only way I can answer you. I don't know anything else to tell you about that. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I want to seize the opportunity to say a big hi to all humanitarian services that have been very consistent in assisting IDPs and refugees.
Our people, yes.
In fact, I've been doing a tremendous job. I'm thinking especially of the Center for Human Rights for Africa by Barrister Agbonkongo Bala.
Yes.
Was doing a great job.
Very good.
I'm thinking of Searchlight School of Everson Bank in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yes.
Of course, I'm thinking of Fire Foundation that has doing a tremendous job. We're also thinking of Belinda Bambila Foundation. That's another foundation that's also doing a tremendous job.
Yes.
We're also thinking of how they call this this lady who also, I have to get her name straight, who opened a school for our kids in something for Africa in Nigeria just recently. Yes. I think I'm going to put through this call to one of the humanitarian guys who is in Boston, Massachusetts, for just 1 minute to tell us a little bit about the refugee situation in Nigeria.
Yes.
Or we can get to Everson Bank. We'll try one more time to see. Okay, I think we're going to get to Everson Bank. Everson Bank actually just came recently from Nigeria, and so we'll just talk with him briefly for 30 seconds, and then we move to talking about the German conference.
Yes.
So the Southern Cameroon's conference that's coming up in Germany, in Berlin. Yes, Mr. Everson Bank, you're welcome to the show. We understand, of course, you're a humanitarian. You've been to Nigeria. You've visited the Ogoja camp and other camps where refugees have been kept. We know you went together with one other Southern Cameroonian who has a school for refugee children. What's the name of that school? We're just curious about it.
The name of the organization or the orphanage in Ecom?
Yeah, the orphanage. Which of them? Just try to brief us about it.
Hope for Tomorrow Foundation. It's founded by one Miss Pentecosta Tikum in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
She found the need to support children that are orphaned due to the ongoing crisis in southern Cameroon.
Correct.
And it's a very lovely initiative because I Love Children. I've been in that project before, so I decided to support her. And the project is launched. She's currently having 80 children in the center.
Very good.
I heard there's even a structure that has been built there. There's a whole house and stuff.
Come again?
Now you people have a house already built for the children and stuff like that?
Yes, there's a center already well equipped.
Mm-hmm.
And the center is functional with children having comfortable beds, having 3 meals a day, and a staff of 9 already there working.
Yeah.
And they have children that are there who were recommended by United Nations High Commission for Refugees, some children from Ogoja, and some that are coming by themselves. There's a group of kids right now, about 40 of them that just crossed the border. They've been in the forest for quite a while, and they'll equally be going to the center. So I think it's a lovely initiative.
Okay. So what's the name of that again? It's Hope for Africa Foundation?
Kids of Tomorrow Foundation.
Kids of Tomorrow Foundation by Miss Pentecosta Tikum.
Correct.
Massachusetts. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the lovely job you are doing for our kids.
School. He's been there to take care of our children.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. We're going to round up this show, Barrister Fu. Yes. You're supposed to be in Germany, in Berlin, for the conference, just like me. But issues with our visa. The German embassy says we can't come until 26th.
Yeah, to 23rd. They programmed me for interview for 23rd. The conference is on the 11th to the 14th. So it's useless for me taking a visa to go to Germany. So I just have to go back home.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to end here.
Yes.
Except otherwise, if you have another one last question before we go, is there anything you think you want to tell the people of Southern Cameroon before we close the show?
I wish to tell my country people that you hold fast. Our independence is a reality. Mm-hmm. It has already been restored by our president, Seseko Ayuktabe, and we are not expecting a referendum, because we've had one and look at where it landed us. So we have restored the independence that was granted us, that was voted for on the 21st of April 1961 and programmed for 1st October. We have that independence already. Our president has restored it. It's now for the world through the United Nations. to give kitus to that, so that we have a nation. I thank everybody for listening to me, and if you have any questions, you can channel those questions.
We'll still have time to talk about them in Boston, or maybe tomorrow,
to Boston,
tomorrow.
or to
So we take one last caller from the United Arab Emirates before we close the show.
Oh, okay, that will be interesting.
All right, hello. Hello. Yes, this is Eric Tato speaking.
Hey, good evening, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm calling from Dubai. I wanted to greet Dr. Fu.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, we are getting you live. You have a question for him, or you're greeting him? That's fine.
Yes, just have a question for him, just to thank him for what he has been doing, and thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for helping on ground zero with the case for our leaders, and also what's going to happen. My worry was the health of
Barrister Ayambe, yes.
Ayambe, yes.
Yeah. Before I left, I saw him, and it's okay.
It's okay now?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. I think that's a very serious question.
Thank you.
And then what is our president saying? What is the message for us from the president? If you can tell us a little bit about our president.
Our president sends his greetings to every Amazonian around the world, and that they are holding tight, and that God willing, they will be free one day to rejoin you, all of us.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister.
Thank you, sir.
We also want to thank Dr. David Makongo, who is one of those Southern Cameroonians of exceptional ranking.
I nearly forgot that. Dr. Makongo has been great. He has been taking care of prisoners.
Yes.
And he's been very great. I like to take the opportunity to thank you, sir,
thank
for
you.
a job well done.
We almost omitted you.
Yes.
On that,
thank you very much, sir.
From time to time, we'll be talking to some of the foundation leaders, those who have these foundations, that will know the activities.
Dr. Makongo has been great. He's not only working in Nigeria. He's working with. He's also sending money and equipment to the prisoners. And I cannot thank you.
Before you go, we just want to let our people know that this National Telegraph, anything that concerns refugees, and we talk to this organization, is also charity for us. We don't charge any fee for the airtime, so that should be known that we don't need anybody to pay us for talking about the things that are doing for the kids and for prisoners and for refugees.
Yes.
Because that's part of our contribution as a media organ that is humanitarian in nature as well.
Yes.
But we also do business with people who want to do business with us. So I want to thank you. If you're just tuning in, we'll be leaving you at this juncture. Of course, you can get details of the news we publish, first-hand news on www.nationaltelegraph.net. You can always go from time to time, go to Google, click on Google, check on our website, www.nationaltelegraph.net. We also publish links of all top stories on this National Telegraph Facebook page. If you want to get more news, you can always, to be sure, when we come online, click follow on National Telegraph. I know sometimes it's very difficult. We're just going to teach people who are watching us on how to click follow on National Telegraph. If you come to a National Telegraph page, for example, you go on Facebook. Okay, this is Facebook, as you can see. So when you get to Facebook like this, you click here on your search bar on Facebook. If you see National Telegraph, you click on National Telegraph. Okay, once you see National Telegraph, this is National Telegraph. The page is going to open like this. Okay, usually you see what they say, got more message, National Telegraph. Then you see below this same line where they say got message, there's 1, 2, 3 clicks on lines or dots. You click on it. If you click here, for you, that way you see follow. If I can do it with a neutral phone, this is my phone, so I'm the administrator of National Telegraph. Can I have a phone, Mr. Victor? If you have a phone, we'll show the listeners very quickly. So if you click here, you'll see follow and like. You click on it, and once that is done, you'll be able to follow us. You see follow on this line. Click on this 3 dot, you see follow. So we are also on YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube and all of those. On Facebook, if Facebook is here, where's Facebook? Okay, this is Facebook. So if you come here, for example, Mr. Victor, can you go back? So we're just going to end the show in the next few minutes. Want to know, anybody should know how you can follow us on Facebook. Okay, thank you. So if you click here, you can click National Telegraph, like here. This is it. So I'm using this other phone, National Telegraph. Okay, if you get to National Telegraph, this is National Telegraph. You click, when you tap the bar, you come here. Oh, it's even there already. So for those of you who just open the page, you see on neutral phones, you see follow. If you click on follow, that's it. It means you start following us. You click on like. So each time we have something, you are definitely going to have us. So you just see follow and like. When you go to National Telegraph, you click follow, like, and then, or you can share our page. That way, each time we are live, you can see us. I think that's the easiest way. We want to thank Barrister Fujo once more.
Thank you very much.
We know you're going
Thank you
to
for
Boston. You'll be in Boston. We'll read that address really quickly before you go.
Yes.
Where's Francis? Francis sent this thing to us, so we'll take it one last time. Yes. So I want all the people of Boston to be there, please. It's very important. Yes. So it's going to be Dr. Barrister Fujo and Professor Carlson Anyangwe at the Presbyterian Church at 335 Cambridge Street, Bolton, Massachusetts, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's going to be a town hall on Saturday, April 6th. Thank you once more. My name is Eric Tato, and we had as main guest on the map Barrister Fujo, coming all the way from what he calls the dungeon of the Republic of Cameroon and from Grand Zero.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye from us at the National Telegraph. Bye.
Thank you.